Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining live. This is Late Night America, starting earlier, an hour earlier than we normally do. Normally it's midnight or sometimes even 1 o'clock, but we have a lot to talk about tonight. So we are starting a little bit early. And again, thank you for watching. Oh gosh, so much to talk about. Let's see. Let's just jump right in. 6:36 p.m. Once again, hello everybody. Thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, hit the notification bell. If you are a subscriber, again, if you're not a subscriber, consider doing so. Not only do I do this, but I'm also a writer, and I'm an author, and I have 3 books out. All 3 of them are in a description below this video, and I would be greatly appreciated if after we're done here, you take a look at the description and check out the books. And if you're interested in buying one, thank you very much. And if you do get one and you want it autographed or something, email me, americandufus@gmail.com, and Cashapp is $americandufus, all one word, AMERICANDUFUS. 3 people dead, 39 homes damaged after a house explosion in Indiana. That is correct. 39 homes damaged. We're expecting the death toll to go up, unfortunately, and the number of injured to be significant as well, because a number of the houses that were damaged were severely damaged. And the cause has yet to be determined. There's gossip, as there always is, but I'm not going to include the gossip in this episode. We're just giving you the facts as they were at 6:36 p.m. on the 10th of August, 2022. Again, thank you for watching. This is Late Night America on the American Doofus channel. 39 homes damaged after a house explosion in Indiana. That was in Evansville, Indiana, in the very southern tip of Indiana, very close to the Illinois line. And again, 3 people at least have lost their lives in that explosion, and the one explosion took out 38 other houses. And again, there's speculation, but we are not going to delve into speculation. What we are going to delve into is what's going on the YouTube page at the moment. 1776, yes, we'll be talking about them later on in the episode. Steve Oatley, far right wing opponent of 1776, but basically the title to his is They've All Lost Their Minds. If you like mob stories and true mob stories, Mooney Dashcam is a real good site to follow. 3 knocks from above a river, that's I'm going to guess that's Bigfoot. So this one right here, oops, let me get it back. There we go. This one right here, Only Judge Can God Me. when tattoos go wrong. So I guess a little bit of levity. 1776 Restoration Movement standing in solidarity with Mickey. I'm not sure who Mickey is, but well, no, I'm not going to make a bad comment that, you know, if she's associated with 1776, then you fill in the blanks. And the reason is that it is an organization that basically has had pedophiles within the group, knowingly within the group, and it has brought a whole lot of people together that otherwise would not have been together. Some of them on the ground, known as the Suicide Squad, and we've touched on them. We'll talk about them again coming up in a little bit. No, I don't want to do that one first. Yeah, let's go ahead and just do this. Because I thought I had, again, this is live. Thank you for watching. Here we go. This is the one I want to start with. I get a lot of mail, a lot of email, a lot of messages on various platforms, texts, you know. Anyway, I'm going to touch on a message I got earlier in just a few minutes, and this too comes from a message I got. I think I got it late last week, and I think it was Mark that pointed me towards this, the Hudson River bubbling. And I think I misread it, and I said the Hudson River bulging, and I was, you know, talking about all the flood stuff. The Hudson River is bubbling. And here's a little bit of a report from CBS News New York. Let's get her volume up.
River expert who says that he's never seen anything like it.
A rainy Monday mist settled on the Hudson.
Do you like being a shared workspace?
So there you go. The expert has never seen anything like it. We got one more video on this topic that is the real reason that I wanted to show the first that it is a mainstream media story in New York anyway. And those of you that watch the program know that I use a lot of information from scientists, and all the scientists, while they are accredited scientists, they're not governmental scientists. Some of them are former governmental scientists and really have a problem with the government. The others don't. And, you know, I'm only pointing that out because just like I get messages, I send messages out too. And I've asked a couple of the science people about different things. And one of the things I asked about was what's going on in the Hudson River.
9 times out of 10, we see movement go down to the east by southeast. And that takes me into what's going on here in the United States, which is really the whole point of doing my update here, was I had a commenter over on YouTube me a comment about something going on in the Hudson River, Hudson Bay, but mainly the Hudson River over here on the East Coast. And at this point, maybe we should open up a copy of good old Google Earth.
After every flush in my kitchen.
All right, we're going to go through this commercial here, even though it's going to play till the end, because I get so many tabs up. I'm afraid I'll accidentally delete this, and I want you all to be able to hear it. Man, I didn't realize he was so popular. He's got 2 15-second ads that you can't go through. So we'll play them so get a little extra exposure since they're supporting him.
And show everybody internationally where it is.
Because all the ads on this.
We'll go over here. and this is where the people left the comment. Okay, blessings flow. And now the Hudson River is bubbling, and journalism is watery weirdness. And they've got a face palm. I don't blame them for the face palm because, man, that is some silliness. Look at what's going on here. Watery weirdness. Check out methane bubbles. That's not oxygen. There's no oxygen coming up out of the ground there, guys. We've got methane bubbles coming up on the shores of the Hudson River going on for many, many miles. Now, when I saw that, look at the date on this. This is July 13th, like 3 weeks ago. And it's just, again, there's a big power plant over there on the side, but that's not coming from the power plant. Now, we could talk about ionization and what's going on in the crust. They'll have all kinds of explanations for this, I'm sure, the mainstream media, but this is the East Coast. This is a big deal. And then this takes me into Monkey Works. Monkey Works, awesome channel, covers aviation and covers movement and military, mainly aviation, and weather, and does some weather modification talk, and also study. Of course, it's live. He does these live broadcasts where he tracks the planes. I tuned in last week, and I heard him talking about a plane flying over the Hudson River. Some kind of NASA plane, a LiDAR plane. Well, he didn't actually say that, but he brought up LiDAR. I believe he brought up LiDAR, which is laser direction arranging. It's like radar, but with laser. It reflects off and comes back. You use LiDAR in like the job site, and you got a laser. You got all kinds of stuff now. Laser level. You've got a laser tape measure, and all that's doing is sending the beam out. It's reflecting LiDAR. Okay. But why would he be flying over the Hudson River? Right? Now it makes sense. Okay, so Hudson River. Here we go. When you see right where it is, it's gonna all make sense in about 2 seconds.
Right on the
Here we are. All right.
plate divide.
Why don't I have my rivers marked? Well, I mean, you can see it here. Hudson River goes all the way down and meets in here. Okay. But I don't know exactly where on the Hudson River the bubbles are coming from, but you can already see. I mean, it goes up, going right down here to the bay, and of course out to the ocean. Now there's high voltage power lines through here. You know what? Let's go back to the story here and just see. Okay, showing bubbling along the Hudson River shoreline at Blowout Point Park. At the next to the power plant. Well, helps to read the full story next to the power plant. You can't ignore that. Blowout Point Park, New York. Okay. I mean, this further reduces down to where we're going. Wow. All right. All kinds of wonderful things here. Let's just hope. Let's hope it's not a natural gas line broken there. Maybe they put the natural gas line there through the water. Maybe that's what they did. Yeah. They must have put it along the water. Wow. Okay. Now that we know where it is, I have to bring up the other thing that just happened out here. The earthquakes. Multiple earthquakes striking right next to it. Within, what do you think that is, 50 miles? Within 50 to 75 miles at most, we're dealing with a series of earthquakes on the edge of the North American Craton. Now let me...
So there you go. Hudson River is bubbling because methane gas has been released deep in the earth following earthquakes. And, I've been saying that everything's all tied together. My theory is that everything is tied together, including us, and that everything impacts everything. And, the magnetic field's going to impact everything. The vibrations, the earth, everything is all connected. And I know it sounds crazy to most people because most science is broken down into specialties. You're a biologist, or you're a geologist, or I took a whole bunch of different stuff in college, and now I am so glad I did. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about what else is going on. And, we're going to have to talk about the Trump stuff coming up, and we're going to do that in just a few seconds. And and all of it is troubling. All of it is troubling. Since I've got another sciencey thing coming up towards the end that you will want to see, so do stick around. I'll tell you what, I'm not going to share that. This is the other message I got that I want to bring out, but I'm not going to share who it's from. I got a lot of sources. I'm blessed. A lot of people send me information. I talk back and forth with a lot of people about a lot of different things, and I'm blessed. That being said, here's the message. Let's get serious. The MAGA crowd is super riled up, and a lot of them are saying very stupid things about what they may do. If you live in an area where MAGA is a large contingent of your population and you're proudly displaying your pride in human rights and your distaste for Trump, it may be a good time to take down the flags. Take the flags inside for a few weeks. Check your bumper stickers, maybe remove stickers. Yes, it's absolutely your right. And this, he's sending this to me, and I'm bypassing some of the stuff because some of the stuff is directed at me. Some of the stuff goes out to everybody. Take the flags inside for a few weeks. Maybe check your bumper stickers. It's absolutely right, and it's absolutely your right and responsibility even to let the world know that things are not okay. I get that. But your personal safety and the safety of your loved ones needs to come first at this point. Again, this is only for those in a MAGA heavy area, though, and he refers to the level of involvement they might be willing to go. Make sure you have a family emergency plan, and double the importance of that. Double the importance of having a family emergency plan if you live in a large metropolitan area. It's great to see the wheels of justice turning, but don't forget this is a movement of domestic extremism and terrorism. CJ6. Make sure you have a blowout kit around if you don't already. And if things get too froggy and you end up in a bad space, remember, reach out and have people there to reach out to. Okay. And again, that's, some of that was directed at me. So the reading wasn't the exact professional style that you're never used to if you watch this program. So what is a blowout kit? Basically, a blowout kit is a tactical blowout kit. It's a medical pouch. It's a first aid bag. It's a step above your, probably a step above of what you would have as an emergency kit. And again, this is for if things get really, really crazy. You'll have stuff to do sutures and to make sure possibly somebody can stay alive. Tourniquets, things like that. Basically, stop bleeding things and the ultimate emergency situations. Hope we never get to that, but person that sends me this thinks we might be on our way. Again, I hope that's not the case, but he mentioned some of the things that the MAGA people were saying. And let's just take a look at some of the things some of the MAGA people are saying, because some of it is a little more than troubling. Before I do that, let me hop over into chat and say hi to everybody, because I get on a roll and I forget to come over here and say, you can't hear anything? Echo, all echo? Is anybody else having a problem with echo? It shouldn't be. It might have echoed during the, it's still echoing bad? You're still echoing. I don't know why I'm echoing. Hang on a second here. Well, I can't adjust. Let me unplug my microphone. Am I still echoing? Or can you not hear me at all? My computer might have overrode it, and my computer mic my internal computer mic might be on, and you were hearing both. Somebody let me know. Hello, Olivia. Hello, Sissy. Fred, how are you, my friend? And Henry. Hello, Thunder. Hello, Mark. Can you hear me now? I don't think anybody has me turned on in the second window. Not that I'm aware of, but a lot of strange things happen during these episodes. You can hear me? Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do this without the microphone and just with the internal mic of the computer. Okay, cool. So I'm glad I came over here and saw this, so that it's a little better, and I didn't get all the way through everything. But the one other piece of advice that I got, and it's logical, is that somebody else sent a message and said, you're always talking about keeping your head on a swivel and situational awareness, and I do talk about that a lot. I don't in every episode, but I do talk about that a lot. Anyway, they said with the current situation, meaning the FBI raiding Mar-a-Lago, in their words, in middle of the road terms, the FBI served a search warrant on Mar-a-Lago, and they had a pretty good idea what they were going for. But anyway, it said, especially have your head on a swivel and situational awareness if you are in federal buildings or around federal buildings, or if you're in the area of law enforcement facilities. Now, it wasn't a threat. This guy wasn't threatening to do this. I'm not threatening to do this, heaven forbid. I'm telling everybody that that's the kind of stuff the MAGA people are talking about. Somebody even said, the gossip I heard connecting a major bomb going off in a house in Evansville. Now that was the gossip, that somebody was trying to put something together and FUBAR. And that was just pure gossip. Okay. It was a massive explosion that destroyed 39 houses. So that's the talk that's going on. And we all need to be aware of this. Because I know I've got friends that are conservative, that are, Republican, and even consider themselves right-wing Republican, They're not down with all this stuff. And it's not just internet gossip. This one I found really troubling. I said I would never play another video from this man after his demonic video that night, that being Alex Jones. So I'm not. I'm going to play a video from this guy who looks like the guy from, oh my gosh, I forgot the name of the show, and I used to watch it all the time. Mythbusters. Thank you. Somebody telepathically sent that to me, I know. Or somebody probably wrote it in chat, but I'm not over there in chat at the moment. But this guy's name's Jesse Dollamore. And Jesse has a program, 371,000 subscribers. And this is what he reported today. Just again, I'm just trying to show you what that far right fringe ride or diers is a term that's been tossed around. These are people that are ready to commit violence and inflict terror. And that's absolutely crazy. And my part is letting you all know that it's going on out there. And just like with the 1776 movement, it's a microcosm. There was what Trump did, there's what MAGA is doing now, what the 1776 movement is trying to do. It's all interconnected.
And I agree. I do not think it's beyond this administrative state and their deep state.
We spoke to it 2,000.
Of course, thank you. And can bop through this one real quick. Okay. And we'll go back.
Assassination of President Trump. I think everything's on the table. I think his security ought to be at the highest it's ever been. And honestly, I think he ought to, and I think he should have flown down to Mar-a-Lago this morning, walked out there at noon today, and said, "Hey, I'm running for president of the United States." Suck on that.
Well, that was my next question. As his former top advisor, what should Trump be doing right now?
For those that don't know, this is Steve Bannon. And if you don't know who he is, Googling.
I think what he should do is action, action, action. I don't think there should be any more of the tweets, no more of the True Social stuff. That's all nice.
Okay, no more tweets, no more Truth Social stuff, no more videos. Action, action, action.
They put out a video last night. No more videos. We're beyond that. They're trying to not just put you in bankruptcy. They're trying to liquidate InfoWars, which is obviously one of the major news sources out there for the MAGA movement. They're trying to liquidate
news source for the MAGA movement. We try to show you things to think about and be a source of information for everybody, because that's who information should be for. Information should be for the Black community, the white community, no matter what pigment of skin community, the left, the right, information should be for everybody. And it should be true information. And that's where we have gone way off the path.
InfoWars, they're putting Peter Navarro in chains.
Peter Navarro. Wait a minute. Where have we heard the name Peter Navarro? I think I might remember. Do you remember? Do you all remember where we've heard Peter Navarro? At least one place where we've heard Peter Navarro. Oh, by the way, I got footage of Donald Trump saying, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? Also, Donald Trump appointed the judge that okayed the search warrant of Mar-a-Lago. And Donald Trump also signed into law into 2018 the law that he will be charged with, that it is a federal crime to remove classified documents from the White House. So, you know, right here. Nope, it was Peter Thiel. I'm wrong. It wasn't Peter Navarro. My apologies. But while we're here, we'll get back to that because I can only handle a little bit of Alex Stone and Steve Bannon together at the same time. I said last night that the FBI, the word I had gotten from Washington is the FBI knew exactly what they were looking for, and that I said, you know, sounds like maybe somebody might have said something. This meme right here. Trump was thinking, I can trust my family. Don Jr. was thinking, I'll tell the FBI where to look. Eric was thinking, I'll tell the FBI where to look. Ivanka was thinking, I will tell the FBI where to look. And Melania was thinking, I told the FBI where to look. Why would they have reason to distance themselves from him? Well, she's been cheated on and it's been flaunted in front of her. She probably has some stories that we may never know. He makes fun of both of these guys, and nobody really matters to him but him. As we say in the recorded versions, it's just something to think about. Okay. Let's remind ourselves with this one right here. If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it. Accuse the other side of that which you are guilty. Propaganda works best when you are being manipulated and confident that they are acting on their own free will. It is vitally important for the state to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie, and thus the greatest enemy of the state. And as far as they're concerned, Donald Trump is president of the United States. So it is vitally important for Trump to repress dissent, for the truth is the mortal enemy of the lie. They're wanting to disband the FBI. You remember last night, I talked on here that last night I talked on here a little bit about what was going on, and that everybody was automatically assuming, all the MAGA people, all the Fringe people were automatically assuming that Trump was innocent. Nobody was, not even Trump said in all of his remarks, did he not? He never said, I'm innocent or I didn't do anything. He said, I plead the fifth. And he said later on in the speech I was referencing earlier that only mobsters plead the fifth, only criminals plead the fifth. Just something to think about. So I want to quickly go to one other thing here, and just a reminder for those that watch all the time and for those that are watching for the first time, this is another thing we talk about on here quite a bit. Ulysses S. Grant, former president of the United States, he says, if we are to have another contest in the near future of our national existence, I predict that the dividing line will not be the Mason-Dixons, but between patriotism and intelligence on the one side, superstition, ambition, and ignorance on the other. And again, merely something to think about. Every time I play a clip, I echo bad. I have to mute myself. Okay, we'll do that. What do you say, Knuckles? Everyone needs to be ready for bite. Trump screwed himself over on this one, Knuckles. Trump packed the boxes himself and took it down there. He signed the law himself. He appointed the judge himself. So let's get back to Unhinged. Steve Bannon warns Alex Jones. This is the title of the video. Unhinged. Steve Bannon warns Alex Jones about assassination plot against Donald Trump. And let me mute myself.
Like a common felon. What they did to President Trump is outrageous. Look, you're playing it right now. I think it's a beautiful film, and I appreciate the people that made it. We're beyond that.
I agree. We need to see the General George Washington 2.0 in the field, taking it to him.
He needs to get to Mar-a-Lago, the exact place that they desecrated, because it was a desecration. They did it on purpose. They understand how Mar-a-Lago resonates to not just MAGA, but to the American people. One of the great buildings in this country. And we've had so many iconic moments there with President Xi and Abe, who just passed away. The moment of standing up to the North Koreans on their missile shoots. So many important things happened there. To go and desecrate it the way they did, particularly over this administrative issue with National Archives, that clearly they're, as you know, Alex, on a fishing expedition or on a planning expedition. I wouldn't put it past them to plan stuff. This is a criminal. The FBI and the DOJ are essentially lawless criminal organizations.
That's key.
So that's what they're wanting. Sorry about that. My mic was muted. I'm going to have to get this figured out. For some reason, it's been crazy since I did the restream of the wiki or the WYSIWYG. This is what they're saying. They're wanting Trump to get out like George Washington into the field and lead the troops. And they're not trying to hide it. They're not trying to, they're not talking in code or anything. They're saying the time for talk, the time for being nice is over. And a lot of people listen to this, and a lot, not this, what you're listening to. A lot of people listen to Alex Jones and to Steve Bannon. And those of us that don't, I feel it's incredibly important that we're aware of what they are saying. One other example of what they are saying. Oh, come on now. There we go. Another example of what they are saying. This comes from an American Homestead. Let me pop back over here. Mute my mic again for a second.
That have affected an entire nation, or even sometimes regional. It's usually the politicians, people who lorded themselves over other people. When scores are able to be settled, they will be settled. They will be settled. And this is one of the reasons why I've always said, I've admired that phrase, if you want to live longer, don't be in charge of anything.
We no longer live without cars, without
Okay, you get an idea, all right? I'm not going to play too much of that because basically he goes down a list of priorities of who's going to die first. I really hope YouTube watches all of this episode like they normally do. I'm not going to try to monetize it. This isn't about making money. This is about getting information out on what is going on to the people that should be hearing it. Now, why is all this going on? Why all the craziness? And I put in there, have you ever felt like you're in a disaster movie, but you don't exactly know what the disaster is? Because most people, you go watch a disaster movie and most people in the movie, most just people, not characters, not actors, extras. Most people don't know there's a disaster coming, There's shocked, they're surprised when Godzilla shows up, they're bewildered when a volcano erupts. They're, why didn't somebody tell us when an ice age is coming? There's a potential storm coming from the very far right. How much of the right is very far right? We've been talking about this for 2 years. And in that 2-year period, the very far right has grown. It hasn't diminished. And January 6th didn't kill the very far right. It helped the very far right grow in more and more and more into the Republican Party. How many, we don't know. We don't know. A lot more than people, especially I believe people in government positions, may be willing to acknowledge. Again, as always, just something to think about. Just pointing you in directions and letting you see things for yourselves. Look for things. Learn on your own, because that's the best way to learn. And our minds are important. Our brains are important. I say this quite often. Control your thinking. Value your thinking. Diversify your thinking. But make sure it is your thinking, because if you don't control your mind, somebody else is going to. And if you're only looking one direction, you're only going to see one thing. And that's what's going to be controlling your mind. Now, with all that being said, I said earlier that yeah, the plate boundaries, the methane in the Hudson River, it's been released from below by cracks that are letting the gas escape, much like you see in Yellowstone Park. Now, that doesn't mean a volcano is going to explode in New York or the upper Northeast. It doesn't mean it couldn't either. Okay. What it means is everything really, my theory is everything's connected. The whole thing is all connected. The movements under the plates, the release of energy, the magnetic sphere, the solar impact, they're all connected, and they all potentially impact us as human beings. I said I sent out to some of the science people, and I did. I asked about, it sounds crazy, but somebody said something about, don't cut your hair because the more hair you have, the more vibrations you pick up from the galaxy. And they talked about how sensitive their ears were, and the hairs in their ears, they picked up frequencies and all kinds of stuff that I'm like, you know. But at the same time, all of us involved in this little episode here at the moment, we all know that if your heart stops beating, what do? They put an electrical charge into you. You know, if your head's messed up, they might do electroshock therapy on you. You know, that's kind of outdated, but electricity matters to our body. Magnetism matters to our body. I'm going to end with this little segment here. And I'm going to mute myself because this is an astrophysics professor that's going to be talking. And we're just going to sit back and listen.
Good evening, folks. First, if you have not noticed that the world seems to be going crazy, please ask someone close to you for help lifting up the rock under which you've been living. Politically, culturally, economically, there's an idiocracy building in the world today, and there are no shortage of reasons to be stressed, to feel squeezed.
United Healthcare, all coverage plans designed for
His Oil Platinum helps extend the life of your engine and protect the 15 years or 500,000 miles guaranteed. That's like hitting the open road and driving from West to Anchorage 100 times. Pennzoil is made from natural gas. Proof is in the Pennzoil.
To feel like the world you knew, and which at least made of sense, is falling apart all around you. But in addition to the obvious, what you see on TV, there's something else affecting every living creature on this planet, and human complex thought and brain systems are extremely vulnerable to it. On top of everything else on our shoulders, our ability to carry that weight is under attack. The magnetic poles of this planet are shifting faster and faster, and with them, the overall magnetic field strength protecting the planet is weakening. We lost 10% of that field in 150 years, then 5 more from only 2000 to 2010. And the experts said we had gone from losing 5% of the field per century to 5% per decade. We are now more than 20% down, and the shift continues. This is important because we all live in an electromagnetic environment, not only our bodies themselves, but the Earth, the atmosphere, the global electric circuit, the geomagnetic field. We've spent copious amounts of time on the channel viewing the physiological impact to our bodies, but the brain and cognition are not immune, with hundreds of studies confirming this concept as well. The weakening magnetic field of Earth means that we are even more vulnerable to the electromagnetic effects of space weather, solar flares, geomagnetic storms, and cosmic rays. In Weatherman's Guide to the Sun, Chapter 6, we compiled many of the relevant studies, which show that both the particle impacts and electromagnetic fields produced by space weather have intimate interaction with our brains. Cognitive defects, emotional instability, neuroinflammation, and some of the details are profound. Anxiety amplification has been repeatedly studied and confirmed, with in vivo animal studies now elucidating the mechanisms driving the many times noted statistical correlations. Specific impacts to the hippocampus, and especially the locus coeruleus, which affects our ability to deal with panic, anxiety, and fear, were well established even before those mechanisms were discovered in physical form. These vulnerabilities are increasing by the day.
These are what are called receipts. He's showing you that not only is what he's saying potentially and probably happening here to people at the moment, but that scientific studies back it up as well. So in modern parlance, he's given out his receipts.
As our magnetic field weakens, and they are added on top of a world seemingly spiraling out of control, which is also quite stressful. Some of the most basic signs of the sickness are easy to see, and while you may instantly jump to the Bible when reading some of these, recognize they are also found in other religious texts describing these times, and the papers in the journals from psychologists, psychiatrists, and biologists. Major changes in thinking, especially related to those you love, is a prime example. It's really not all that unlike the rebellious and arrogant anger of a teenager whose brain is changing. If you feel those changes for your spouse, your children, if you find yourself trying to peg a rationale on minutia that never stopped you from loving them or being there for them before, you should take serious note. Temptation is where I'm hoping you can either find a correlation to your faith or look past that concept to realize this is legit science. Temptation affects everyone and it's natural, but you should also be aware of it and how you are usually affected, how you've been affected throughout your life. And if you are feeling the pull to a greater and greater degree than usual, this is where I hope to communicate from the heart and not offend you. No, the sexual revolution and ultra-strong awakening people are having is not legit. The good feelings they bring are band-aids masking deeper issues, and they're not the answer you're finding yourself, happiness, or salvation. And finally, an overwhelming sense of fear and hopelessness is gripping the world, in addition to the anger and frustration, and nobody can really be blamed for that. But this reinforces the first three, and yet, for someone who sees the bigger picture, this should be recognizably antithetical to the paradigm unfolding. If you find yourself doing things you know are wrong, or if you don't see it as right or wrong, doing things you wouldn't otherwise do, especially high-risk behavior, you need to resist the urge to say to yourself, well, maybe this is all natural, why not just go with it and see where the wind takes me? To think it is you letting go of your previous conceptions and restrictions is utterly incorrect and dangerous. For those who aren't into the religious side of things, do you believe in body energy, chakras, magnetic personalities, affirmations, the effects of positive or negative attitude, the energy and power of crystals or certain rocks or locations on the earth? Know this, if any of those things have any merit, so does the soul. And that means this place has rules. You don't get to pick and choose where it fits your mood or reflects upon your behavior. That is called being a child, being a hypocrite. It's one of the primary reasons we're seeing so many problems today. But alas, knowledge is power, and there will be some of you watching this who will be able to see perspective and overcome these hardships without crumbling. You know, the placebo effect is real, and it can help. It does go both ways, so know that your thoughts, words, attitude, and outlook have powerful potential to influence yourself and the people around you. There are some who will breeze through this with minimal effect, whether by strength of body or mind or soul. But there are also very, very clear indicators of increased vulnerability, and any psychologist worth the paper on which their degree is printed will tell you that combining these vulnerabilities is the worst idea.
Okay, you can watch the remainder of that. We don't, go through and play everybody's videos. That's it. That's for information. That's to help us prepare. That's to help us understand that people that the rest of the actually, you know what? Let's go back and finish this because the rest of the video helps to explain the whole thing. And I'll write him a note and explain why I played his entire video. Because again, this could all play into what potentially could be coming. if there is an uprising of the MAGA people or whatever term ends up being used, a lot of factors could play into it. It's not just because they're being impacted by electromagnetic waves from the sun. So no need to put a tinfoil hat on. Those wouldn't work anyway. But if they have other factors, then the electromagnetic impact just intensifies all those other factors. What do I mean by potential other factors? Let me mute.
Past relationships or physical harm. It's critical. The best summarization of this statement is that the mind can temporarily forget, but the body keeps the score forever. Drugs and alcohol, including many prescribed drugs, will only enhance this. I am aware that my audience includes big fans of cannabis and even hallucinogens, but even those are not bulletproof, and the intentional nature of their use is where they can be helpful. But that is quite elusive amidst the traumatized, the lost, the suffering, and they can and often do exacerbate traumatic issues, again, as a band-aid, if nothing else. Negative influences are difficult because they tell you what you want to hear. The yes man, the comforting voice telling you to embrace these new feelings. Everything is okay. You're not going crazy. That your long-term steadfast patterns are toxic. And yes, it's a great trick. But it is also unequivocally true that they usually just reinforce poor decisions, poor thinking, and poor attitude. How about that last one? Poor diet and poor mental attitude. There are ties into the substance abuse issues listed above, but it's also a separate beast. Your body has protection built in that can help fight the negative, hold the line, stay the course, but they require a healthy body and mind, and without them, or in combination with these other risk factors, you are left utterly vulnerable. At the end of the day, when you realize that the world is in fact rage-inducing, confusing, and often senseless, when you realize that the earth and sun are not exactly being friendly to the situation, and then when you look at what you are doing and thinking, I hope you realize how at risk we are, and all of a sudden, a piece of the puzzle of why the world is going the way it's going manifests before your eyes. Sorry to say, don't expect this to change. It's only getting worse. Be strong, have eyes open, and no fear. Be safe, everyone.
And exactly. Be strong, no fear, eyes open. The more you're prepared for things, the less panic you're going to have. We can't prepare ourselves for everything, but we can sure be watchful of things. Now, yeah, a lot of what we talked about in here, as he mentioned, if you watch the episodes we've done on the Bible in our modern world, we were talking about those things a couple of months ago, and you can tie those all in. You can also tie in everything he said there about how the sun will really, not the sun itself, but the electromagnetic waves, the coronal mass ejections, the flares, the radioactive pulses, all of these things impact, and they impact the brain. And if your brain is already in a place where you're induced into rage anyway, you're an alcohol or drug abuser, and you're around others that feed into that. He listed it all out there, just something to think about. So, you guys talking to yourselves over here? Anybody have any comments or questions or anything? I'll hop into the chat for a few minutes. This actually went, I bypassed some things, but it actually went faster than I anticipated, or I'd have just went ahead and done it at midnight. But Oh, sorry, I missed Knuckles getting out of here. If there's some, if you're having to still have it on, Knuckles, peace, brother. Go feed them animals. Take care of yourself and your family. I know you do. I'm afraid it's going to get bad too, Sissy. I really am. The right are splintered and disorganized. If you're an extremist group with more than 5 people, there's a 99% chance one of them is a cop, FBI, or an informant in the group. And Mark Allen, I think you're right. And I get a lot of chatter from a lot of different places, and you know, that makes it dangerous. The fact that, you know, you're going to have to prove your loyalty. All right. If you're not a Fed, you're not a cop, go out and kill one of these MFers. You know, that's where it's going to potentially go. And you're not going to know who's on whose side. It's not going to be cut and dry and clear. And one side is one group is incredibly ready for violence, and I sure hope law enforcement on all levels is ready for it, and they don't find out that too many of them are on that MAGA side. But that also, you know, the fact that they're all going to get paranoid, not only is it going to mean that they're going to want to have some proof of loyalty, it also means that the message I had earlier, that law enforcement facilities and federal buildings especially, and federal buildings aren't just in Washington, D.C. You recall the Oklahoma City bombing in Oklahoma City, was the Murat Federal Building. And most cities of size and consequence have at least a federal courthouse or a federal building with the courtrooms in it. So if you happen to have to work in those buildings or one of those areas, just, you know, chances are they're telling you the same thing that we're telling you. You know, hey, we are potentially at risk. Head on a swivel, situational awareness, know where you're at. You see something, say something, and try to prepare. I'm so glad they finally went down there and searched that place. And Fred, again, from what I'm hearing, they knew exactly what they were looking for and knew where it was. Now, hopefully, they will continue and do the right thing, charge him for the conspiracies and treason and espionage, however many accounts he has dealing with Russia. That's going to be a problem. Russia's not going to collaborate with us on anything when it comes to Trump. As a matter of fact, don't be surprised if they don't offer to send some kind of help. But yeah, it is a sign that, and just like the message I got from the person, everybody's happy to see, not everybody, of course, but I believe a majority of America is really tired of Trump, and they're happy to see this finally happening, that, you know, maybe he will go away. But I don't think I don't think we can take that approach. I think we have to look at his followers are incredibly dangerous now. And if they really do try to lock him up, if they haven't already gone off, they will. You know, I hope I'm wrong, but it's concerning. Mr. Juan JV, some are actually Devo. I'm gonna have to say I'm not sure what you mean by Devo. and not sure who's, when you say some are, I don't know if you mean some of the MAGA people. That's what I'm assuming. And I'm assuming Devo is like somehow on the other side. So, all right. Been on for an hour and 5 minutes. That's a good time. And I love y'all, man. I really enjoy the lives. They're small, they're intimate, get to talk to people. And I'm going to try to get a couple of guests on coming up here. I've got an episode coming up. It's going to be a shorter one, not a live, on signs of extremism. And this will be one that you'll want to share with people, that, especially people that have kids, so they can know what to look for. And we'll be doing that coming up. I'm going to have our friend Apollo is going to be back on coming up really soon. Apollo's mom is still in recovery, and it was Apollo's mom we were praying for. And I just now realized I was not exposing that information, but Apollo appreciates all of our positive energy that we have been directing in that direction. So thank you, man. Excellent, Fred. Glad we could help the time go by. Yeah. We're going to have to do a whole nother episode on what may happen if Trump does get forced back into power. That will totally change the balance of the world. And yeah, that's a whole different episode. So I love y'all. Thank you again. I've got 3 novels out. The last one's called America, Land of the Greed, Home of the Grave. Amazon on that one. The other 2 are Barnes and Noble, Amazon, any regular normal book place. So please consider checking those out. If you'd like to help the channel, it's you can send a small amount of money to $ American Dufus, all one word, AMERICANDUFUS on Cashapp. And I love you all sincerely. Thank you for watching. You don't know, it's a blessing to know that that not everybody is caught up in a cult. That not everybody is ready for the world to be at war, and that there are some of us that are ready, and we're getting closer and closer to the time where we're going to have to start figuring out other ways of communicating and staying in touch and sharing information. And we may be weeks away from that point instead of months. So just things to think about. I love you all. Send me an email, americandufus@gmail.com. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Look in the posts. You'll get an update as to when I'm going to be on and what time, unless it's a recorded episode, which it may be. It all depends what happens, because there's some stuff that could potentially shoot off tomorrow. So until next time, whenever that is, I love you all. Blessings. Peace upon you and your family and your friends and everybody you know. And stay safe. Eyes open. No fear. Preparedness.